Okay. Um, Hi everyone. So some of you suggested that we should talk about quoting, paraphrasing, and summarizing more because you're going to need these skills in academic writing, not only in argumentative writing, but the academic writing in general. Okay. So I've read some of your essays and I can see that some of you are trying to use the quotations, trying to paraphrase maybe, and have this summary of what you have read into your essays. So I'm going to talk this a bit just like a reminder for you so that you know how to use this later on in your next essay. Let's start with quoting first, quotation. So to quote means that to use somebody else's words. So you borrow his or her words to be put in your essays. There are two types of quotations, direct quotation and indirect quotations. So to differentiate both of them is easy. Direct quotation uses quotation mark, meanwhile indirect quotations don't have it. Okay, so this is the example of direct quotation. So you see the quotation marks here, quotation mark, and indirect quotation, on the other hand, doesn't have that quotation mark. Okay. Well, so you can read the notice here that no quotation mark are used when writing indirect quotation. Yeah? No quotation mark needed. And no commas are used between the source of idea and the idea in the indirect quotations. You don't need to put comma. Yeah, but here you need the quotations and also the comma to indicate the idea and source. A slight change in words may be needed to change direct quotations into indirect quotations. And those changes could be in terms of adding that, if, so to make it more indirect quote. Okay, like the examples above. And you also need to use the signal phrases. So when you include the quotations or borrowed idea in your paper, you need to introduce with the signal phrases, naming the author of the source and providing some context for the source material. So you need to mention who is the source, the name of the source that you put, and who is he or she actually, so that her idea or his idea is so important to be considered. So you need to mention the background of that source. This is the example. SPC World columnist Daniel Tennant explains. We quoted that. Claims. So Schmidt is an attorney, Daniel Tennant is a columnist, and the E-Policy Institute is an organization that advises companies about reducing risks from technology. So you need to mention the background. Yeah. Who is this person? So what is this institution that we need to consider his or her idea? And the signal phrases like explains, reported, and then claims, argues, believes. Those are all the words that you can use, yeah, in signaling the ideas. So when to use direct quotations, you need to use direct quotation when the wording is highly technical. So you need to borrow that wording and then put in a quotation mark, and then you need to explain what the wording is about. And then when it is important to show the exact wording as in debate. So when it is only a part of it taken, it will not mean the same. So that you need to quote the whole sentences. That's, for example, you need to quote a quotation mark. And then when you're analyzing or interpreting a passage, for example, you would like to interpret an excerpt, so you need to put the real source. What is the source saying? So you put it in the quotation mark, and after that you can analyze what it meant. So that is interpreting. And for the golden words, golden words, let's say like kata-kata mutiara. So you need to have it as it is. Golden words. This is another example of quotation, direct quotations. So you can read by yourself, but these two are different in terms of quality. The first one is so-so quality, so you can consider this as okay, but the better versions will be like this one. You can read it by yourself. And then we move on to indirect quotations. When do we use indirect quotations? Is when you want to focus only on the idea of the author. It is not necessarily that you type exactly the same words as the author says, but you like the idea, so you can put it in indirect quotations. Or probably when it is too long for you to quote directly, you can simplify it into indirect quotation. This is when we need the skills of paraphrasing. So if in academic writing you put too many direct quotations, it might not seem good. So therefore, we need paraphrasing. Okay? So this is paraphrasing. It's actually the most challenging to do in the 3 topics that we're going to talk. So this is the most challenging one. And then it is easy to fall into a plagiarized thing when we try to paraphrase. And this skill is used a lot in social sciences, in sciences. So when you're writing a paper, when you're writing a thesis, academic writing journal, it definitely needs paraphrasing skill. So this is example. I have a source example, and we're going to paraphrase it, but this is the plagiarized versions of the source. So why it is called, why it is considered as the plagiarized version? Because you can see the structure of the sentence is the same, quite the same, and the words in underline, you see, it's only changed into the synonymous. It is good to use synonymous, that you don't use the exact words by the author, but then the structure is still the same. See, students often use, the structure is the same. So to have it in a more legitimate versions, you need to change the sentence structure. For example, if it is in active sentence, you can change it into passive sentence. This is the legitimate versions. So you can read by yourself that there is no the sentence structure is different, and then no synonymous words that is used similarly to the source. Overuse is changed into excessively, but it is in a different, let's say, in a different structure. Okay, so you can read by yourself and sense the difference. sense the difference. So if you need to paraphrase, you need to read your sources and then take notes. Yeah, take notes to the keywords, really important words, and then when you find something you want to include in your paper, explain it in your own words in your notes. So then you can provide the citations. You can cite the name, the year, or the pages of that book. Okay. When you actually write your paper, use your notes rather than the articles themselves. Paraphrase your notes. Well, now we'll move on to summarizing. So like paraphrasing, it involves putting something someone else's wrote or said into your own words. And it is a condensed version of the author's key point. Say a little about a big topic. And a summary is not a string of paraphrases resulting in nearly the same amount of words as the original. No, but summarizing is condensed. You see, it is the only the important points. So when we take summarizing, paraphrasing side by side, this is what happened. Taking multiple paragraphs of the entire articles into only a few sentences. But paraphrasing, you need to put the ideas, the sentences, in your own words. And then main ideas and theme, this one, paraphrasing, is detailed and specific, much shorter, more general than the other versions. And paraphrasing is relatively the same length, the level of details and of the outer versions is also the same. This is the example of summarizing. So this is the original passage. Okay, I'm going to show you the summary of it. You can see the number of sentences. Okay, and then see the result of the summary. Okay, you can put it by yourself. I'm not going to put it for you. How to summarize? So you need to read the text to roughly understand what it's meant, and then you can jot down any important points or idea, put it in your notebook. And by looking at your note, you need to arrange those important points into sentences or paragraphs. Okay, then that's how you achieve a shorter versions of the original source. Okay, that's my explanations about quotation, paraphrasing, and summarizing. Any questions, you can just put it in the comment sections. And I also attach the exercises for you. Thank you for listening.